Hi and welcome to a little tutorial on how to get the best out of a couple of new or reasonably new performance metrics introduced into BetMover using the TPD data that can then be used to bet into the Betfair exchange. So this is a Forerunner maiden hurdle at Hereford. There's not a particularly clear market as to who's going to win this race. So there's obviously the form book's obviously a bit sketchy. Hence, it's a great little race to evaluate the performance of the horses in real time to make your mind up. Favourites 2-1, outside of 6.6-1. It's pretty narrow, that range. And we're just going to kind of go through the velocity error, which is a proxy for jumping fluency, and the cadence error, which is a proxy for are the horses running to the speeds that you would expect to run at to win races of this type. So I pushed the race on to about a minute through it. 2 hurdles have been jumped, as you can see by the green line going through these black lines here, and these are the locations of the hurdles. This is the real-time speed of the horses. Anything for Love has clearly slowed down a hell of a lot over this second hurdle, lost lots of speed, and that is the sort of black line here, and that is reflected in a very high and red velocity error and cadence error, whereas we've got yellowy green numbers, much lower figures for Bellatrixia and Coquelicot, who are jumping more smoothly and running much more according to par. So we're now at 2 minutes 30 into this race, and our first sort of potential trade comes up here, which is a nice little, hopefully low risk lay for horse 2 here. Impressive Lady, who's the favourite. We can lay at these numbers here, pretty low, 2.84 to 1, and she's 3.8 lengths behind the leader, which is quite a long way back actually, particularly if the going is soft, as it says here, and the velocity error of 117 is significantly worse than the rest of the field. So energy has been wasted in jumping badly, and so on a risk-reward basis, that looks to be a sensible thing to do at this point. So here we are at the business end of the race. Only 2 flights to jump, although it looks like the number 3 is just jumping the penultimate hurdle here. Is this a late back opportunity? We've laid 2 successfully. Do we want to back 4 here and take on 2? And the answer, the data does not suggest that that's sensible, because we've got Bellatrixia as velocity error, i.e. its jumping fluency, is looking better than Coquelicot, and it's also its variance to the expected speed is a greener, lower number. So effectively, the data is not suggesting that the 2.2 lengths will be made up. So we can probably stick with that and ride this out to the end. So it's good to see that data telling the same story. And an interesting postscript for people who might be watching this video and thinking that they are never going to be the kind of people that bet in play. I wanted to just show how that race at Hereford has panned out compared to the infographic that we post pre-race to help give people a guide to how the various runners, how their odds compare to their stride length and stride frequency, whether that's suitable for the race conditions or not, and whether that gives a clue as to whether their price is a bit wrong or not. So we tweeted this infographic around the 1540 race at Hereford we've just looked at. Previous winners, averaged 2.04 strides per second and 6.44 meters per stride. And it's just worth pointing out that Bellatrixia, who went on to win that race with an SP of 5-2, who was the second favourite, had pretty much an identical stride frequency of 2.05. Slightly shorter stride length, but pretty negligible difference. But it's kind of worth pointing out that you've got a little bit of value there, because you've got a horse that strides in a way that previous winners of that race at Hereford would stride. So do look out for those on the TPD Zone Twitter feed. I hope you found that useful. There's more to come for these metrics, and do get in touch with a TPD Zone support team if you'd like more information.